And she was like, are you sure? Can you trust this man? I was like, yeah, he seemed nice, mom. Every night I was in my bed and every time he was coming, in my room, I was sleeping and I was feeling a hand on my body. Those things, you just like erase them from your memory. And the police called me because he wasn't about Patrice. It was about the other child I let down when the police called me.
You talk about in the book, in the opening chapters of the book, about your headmaster.
Yeah.
And you were 13 years old. You ended up staying at his house and he sexually assaulted you.
Yeah. I think this was one of the most regret I had in my life, to not speak up in that day.
How did you come to be at his house?
It's really simple. It's because Brittany, it was far from my house. I have to take 2 trains to go to school, because I went to that school because it was a school where, you're good at football. After school, you have to train. So it wasn't an academy, but it was a school where you can train also. So it was a good opportunity. To be fair, my mom was like, it's good. He's leaving the street because he will end up in jail or dead. So it's perfect for him. So I went there and I was taking 2 train, 4 hours sometime, and losing my school bag, sleeping on the train, even sometime end up to another destination. So it was a mess. And that school teacher, Ed's teacher, he speak to me. He said, do you want to stay? Because I'm living inside the school. He have his home inside the school. So I went back home and I say to my mom, he offered that. And my mom was not sure about it at the beginning, because even when I tell her, I will speak later about it, she said, I knew it. And she was like, are you sure? Can you trust this man? I was like, yeah, he seemed nice, mom. So that head teacher at the beginning, everything was perfect. He was cooking for me in the evening. He was letting me play his Nintendo. He had the Nintendo at the time. So I was like, yeah, that's cool. I don't need to go back home on the weekend, and I just stay here. And then every night I was in my bed, and every time he was coming, in my room, and the first time I was like, maybe, he just come to say goodnight. But I was sleeping and I was feeling a hand on my body, and I was like, oh, what's going on, Then he was trying to touch me, but I was holding his hand. So it was like a fight for 10 minutes. And I was still couldn't understand. I was 13, but I didn't have any sexual relation even with any girls at that time. So for me, everything was new. I was like, what's going on, we fight many times and he didn't succeed. And he was, now when I have those images in my head, I could hear him trying to touch me and touching himself in the same time next to the bed, Then he was leaving. And every time I was like, oh, it's gone. So it started to become a ritual. Every time I go to bed, he's coming. The same things, fight, everything, fight. And one day, I was even attaching my pajama with my laces, I remember.
Shoelaces.
Shoelaces. Because to make sure he can't put it down. And to be fair, he was trying on the top of my clothes, but fighting. So one day he did. He put my pants down and he put my penis in his mouth. And I was just terrorized. I remember I just freeze. I knock his head, but I just freeze. I didn't understand what's going on. Then he left. Then I wake up. I can't even remember what's happened, because, those things, you just erase them from your memory. So I back to school. I think in school I was thinking about what's happened. It's something not normal. Then I went home. I said, Mom, I don't want to sleep anymore to that head teacher. She said, why? I said, no, I just don't want. I never tell her the reason until now. So after that, I live all my life with that. From the street, You come back, you like, imagine you tell that to one of your friends. They're going to say, you're weak, all of those stuff. So even for me, when I had my first sexual relation, it was weird because I had this man in my head, and this I never told that to anyone. So I was like massively traumatized. Then actually, because all of that, I back to my school where I grew up in the street, and I stopped even going to that school. Even like people were like, but you're so good at football. Why? I said, I don't need it. I will keep training on my own on the street. I don't want to be in that school anymore. So yeah, I grew up with that things for so many years. And what I feel as a coward is when I was 24 years old, not 20 years old. And I was still playing for Monaco at the time. And the police called me. So, hi, Mr. This is the number of Patrice Evra. We got a lot of complaint about that head teacher. I don't even remember his name. I could even tell you his face because I erased all of this in my memory. There's been a lot of complaint about child, they being abused about that head teacher. Did he touch you? No. Are you sure? Yes, I'm sure. And I was angry even when people asked me that question. I was like, oh, there. Someone asked me about that. Put the phone down. So all this year, I was like, wow, Patrice, you had the opportunity when you were 13 years old. You didn't. I will understand. But now you're 20 and you couldn't. Just what? Because you're still ashamed of it? Because you're famous? You're scared of the reaction of the people? But doing that day, and that's why growing up, when people say, Patrice, you're a good guy, I wasn't feeling that way because I was feeling as a coward.
A coward?
A coward, yeah. Because it wasn't about Patrice. It was about the other child I let down when the police called me. It's about the other child that's still being abused right now. So coming out with this helped me a lot. And I have to say a massive thanks to the woman of my life, Margot, because, sometimes people say you need a psychologue, but in life, sometimes it's about which person you meet. I'm someone I really believe in energy. And to be fair, after that, trusting anyone, a psychologue, I would say, maybe I will tell him this, he don't care. He's just pay for that job. Some of them are really good. I never meet any psychologue, but me, that woman, like...
She was a romantic partner?
Yeah. She make me being myself and being honest with myself. Don't be ashamed of anything, baby. And I'm here. And I will never, me, Patrice, the tough guys, don't showing emotion, think a woman can, extract those real emotion from myself. I was like, wow,
so
40 years old.
There was a day you shared that with her?
Yeah.
Can you tell me about that day?
Like I said, the day I shared that with her, it was, when she met me, I was 38. So I was just retired from football, doing all my things. And she was, oh my God, you seem so happy and such a positive man. But do you care about yourself, Patrice? I said, yeah. And she asked me one simple question. Are you happy? Yes, I'm happy. I'm happy, I make you happy. But Patrice, what make you happy? I'm happy. No, just saying like I'm happy. This is not an answer. So she go deep. And we didn't talk about the subject. I say, no, I'm fine. She said, no, because I can see, yes, you're an impulsive person. You like to fight. You say, because this from the street and everything. But I think you got something. You got a pain on your chest and you don't want. I was like, I'm fine. I'm fine. Then one day, we watched something and it was about pedophile and stuff. So again, she looked at my face. She said like, you okay? I said, yeah, I'm okay. Why you ask me? No. Patrice, I feel you. You're hiding something. I said, why you know, I don't like when people want to try go to get inside. I'm fine. I was still closing the door. If you love me, you should like tell me what's going on. I need to know really. I look at her, I just try crying like a baby. I cry like a baby. She hugged me. What's going on? And I tell her the full story. So she cried. She was like, I knew. Thank you. Have you say that to someone, to the police, to your mom? I said, no. You are the first person. And I don't want to say it to anybody else.